One of the hardest struggles for somebody to identify through self-work is, God, what is my purpose? I feel like I've taught my students so well that I have other students to fill in the gap when I'm not there. It's just like going to me. People will think, oh, I want money, I want money, I want money. And they're just searching for money, not realizing that even in trading, the self-work is the most important work.
If I can show up for a company and help a company make millions and dedicate 40 plus hours a week to a company, what can I do for myself?
If you don't know what your foundation is or even your vision for something, you can't build anything. You can have $10,000. If you don't know what you're doing, you're going to lose it. You can have $100,000. If you don't know what you're doing, you're going to lose it. Knowledge is the most important thing.
What's next for Jessica?
Actually...
Welcome to another episode of Access Granted, where I give you exclusive access to entrepreneurs that are killing it in their industry. Today, I'm super excited because I get to connect with somebody that's powerful, like a mom, entrepreneur, a mogul. Jessica Laine, welcome to Access Granted. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. I'm so excited to have you here.
Happy to be here.
I always love connecting with you. Like you're just always so full of joy and just always ready to just execute. So I just appreciate you.
Thank you. I love that.
And such a girl's girl. Like I just love, I love when people are just like, hey girl, it's just so warm and so nurturing. So, but thank you for being here. I want to tell the audience, like, who is Jessica Laine and what do you do and how did you get started?
Okay. Yeah. So I am a trader, but beyond that, I would say first, I'm a woman of God because ultimately, like, none of this would even be without him. So I think that takes precedence over everything because I feel like he's given me everything that I do have. But financially, I'm a trader, and then I'm a mom and a wife and all of the things.
I love it. There's probably somebody that's watching this right now. They're a mom, they're a wife, and maybe they work a 9 to 5 and they can't quite figure out how to balance or juggle it all. And you look good doing it.
Thank you.
How do you, just make sure that everything is whole? I know God is the lead of all of this, but how do you balance just being a mom, a new mom, having a community where you pour into others as well, and then still being a wife, but still showing up for Jessica as well?
Well, to be honest, wow. Okay. So if I had to be honest, completely honest on that question, I would say it's all of the work that I put in before I had any of what I do have.
Wow.
That sustained me through everything, because I think that I made myself whole before I got into a marriage and had children. And I feel like that carried me through because that, me trading and learning how to trade and all of these things to be financially free and financially independent before I partnered with somebody, it's like I already had my own and I already had my foundation. And so even with that, building my community came from me teaching for free every Sunday. And it's something I still do to this day, because if I have to look at the market for the week, I might as well just open it up for other people to watch me do it as I do it. Mm. So that's how the community started. And then it's just over the course of, I started it in 2018, 2019. People just wanted to see how I traded. And people was asking me, like, can you teach me how to trade? Can you teach me how to trade? I'm like, y'all just hop on this because I'm doing it anyway. So I don't have to break it out to everybody. Let's just all meet Sunday. Because in trading, especially in the foreign exchange market, the market opens Sunday. So I can do my analysis for the whole week. I just had everything open for everybody to view. And then once they saw I was consistently profitable every single week, not to toot my own horn, but I don't miss. And then it's documented for people to see. Every week I'm giving out trades. So when people see it, it's I think that's also how I've built my community to sustain itself, because it's if you see something playing out every single week, it works. Mm-hmm. And then it's okay, now let me learn.
I love that. And I love that you mentioned that you did the work before. I think a lot of times we want the life, we want the family, but we forget to work on ourselves before and make sure that we're prepared to receive the blessing. So I love that you touched on that, because as I grow and, as I date and decide, that, being a wife, of course, is the goal. It's what am I doing to prepare for that blessing? I love that you touched on that.
Yeah. But even in trading, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but even when it comes comes to trading, because like people will think, oh, I want money, I want money, I want money. And they're just searching for money, not realizing that even in trading, the self work is the most important work, because you have to overcome impatience. You have to overcome fear. You have to overcome greed, all of these different things. Like indecision. If I'm in a market and I see, obviously the market will go one or two ways. Like if I'm in a position, it's either going to make a profit or it's going to take money from me, right? Like that's how the market works. But the market is three things. Where do I get in? Where do I get out? And where is the market going? If you do not have enough confidence even in yourself to be able to execute, you're just going to be looking at the market while it's literally just playing out right in front of your face, and you're scared on even how to maneuver. And so all of the I could peel back layers of that, because that just comes to trading psychology, and trading psychology is the most important part of trading. But that trading psychology comes from doing the work also.
That is powerful. That is good. And I love how it just ties, it flows into what we're already doing, right? It flows into what we should be doing, which is self-development and just education and financial literacy. So what is, you know, a lot of times we hear about trading, we hear about foreign trading. What is foreign trading, and how do I even get started with this?
So it's the market, is literally supply and demand. It's how the market moves. Everything flows through the foreign exchange market. Like people think, and because of network marketing companies in the past, people say, oh, Forex is a scam, or is this or is that. But it's like, no, the foreign exchange market is just the buying and selling of currencies, ultimately, right? It is exchange between two, like everything that you even buy, it has to flow through the foreign exchange market, period.
Okay.
Now, obviously, like it's like we're talking about like a literal rain in a drop, like it's a raindrop in a bucket, right? Like we're talking about something very minute, but still that's how money flows. Ultimately, it's how money flows. So it's just being able to analyze and understand what you have two things. You have technical analysis, you have fundamental analysis. Technical analysis is the actual charts. So when you're going to the charts, people think it looks like, what am I doing? Like it's Chinese. That's what technical analysis is. And then you have fundamental analysis, which is news. Fundamental analysis comes from either supply and demand, where it's like something's happening in the world, interest rates, policy, the FOMC meeting is coming up. So what is Jerome Powell going to do with the Fed rates? Like all of those different things, they shift the market. So that would be like supply and demand. Then you have economic indicators that is like gross domestic product, non-farm payroll, like unemployment numbers, that makes the market shift. Because basically, if somebody's coming to the market, it's like, what is good for the economy? What is bad for the economy? Is this going to make my dollar strengthen, or is it going to make my dollar weaken? Now, I'm breaking it down in a very layman's term so that like viewers can kind of understand what I'm saying. But like it does get more complicated than that when you're actually going to the market and analyzing. But that's the premise and basis of everything. It's like, is this good for the market? Is this bad for the market or the economy? And then the market shifts from there.
Well, I love that, because, and I think that's what most people need. When we teach, we always try to teach it where we are, right? Yeah. So we understand the terms, we understand the language, but sometimes we have to bring it down to where a third or fourth grader could understand it, and it just makes sense. Yeah. And I think there's so many negative things that are associated with, you know, foreign exchange and foreign trading, and people are afraid of it because of things that people did in the past. But, you know, when you get with somebody who's actually an expert in the space, who's teaching this and showing you results, it's like, why would I not be doing this? You know?
But I also feel like, and that's one of the things that I don't sell. The first thing, remember, we even talked about is I don't sell people. Like, I'll tell you what the market does, and if you choose to get into it, that's up to you. Like, I really feel like also like trading isn't everybody's purpose either. But when you say what people have done, I think that that's a key thing too, because people will make their lack of success somebody else's fault, and they'll say, oh, well, these network marketing people were selling this, so I didn't get into trading because of this, or I lost money because of this. But honestly, you lost money because you didn't do the work. Because I've heard about network marketing companies and all those different things, but I didn't let that deter me from trading, because I saw Warren Buffett making money. I saw all of these financial people that's like, hold on, they're making money from the market. So how do I learn the market and everything that I can learn from the market? Let me do my own work to learn the market for myself, excluded of everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me find the information that I need to know. It's kind of like, well, that's a whole nother thing.
But it's the same with grants. So even with grants, you know, there are some people out there that are writing grants for people, and grants are never guaranteed, right? So they go to these companies and they get their grant proposals, and, you know, they get a couple of grants and they don't get access to any capital or funding. And then they come see me and they're like, well, you know, it's a scam or it's not real. And it's like, no, it's real. You just have to do the work to get the results. And a lot of times, you know, especially as entrepreneurs, we want the easy way out. We want a done for you service. We want somebody to do the work and we just want to see the results. But when I have students inside of my community who are using the blueprint and following the formula and they're doing the work, they're getting the results. It's because they're teaching and are following the education practice, and they're getting the financial literacy, and they're following the blueprint and getting the results in return. So it's the same, right? There are some people, unfortunately, who take advantage of entrepreneurs and people who just want access to information, but it all falls back on what, you know, accountability and self. What did I do to get the results? What work did I do to achieve or accomplish the goal? So I love that you are pouring into your community. You're teaching this. You teach this every Sunday?
Every Sunday. But it's not even really me teaching. Like, I have to do the work to get the work for myself anyway. Yeah. So all I'm doing is analyzing charts. It's not like I'm like really teaching. It's just I'm analyzing charts. And so I'm looking to see what the market is doing for the upcoming week. And then through that, like, the people who are in my actual community, they can ask me questions if they have questions or whatever case may be, and I just answer them.
Wow. So as a mom, showing up on Sundays, which most of the time moms on Sundays, we're preparing for the crazy busy week. You're still showing up for thousands of people and thousands of entrepreneurs, and you're doing the work because, I mean, you have to anyway, but how does it feel to know that you're impacting others? Like, you're truly pouring into others and giving them avenues and outlets and resources that set them up financially as well.
It's God's work, girl.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even me. It's really not me. I'm just a vessel, because, and I'm not even trying to sound cliche when I say this, like, when I first started this, I didn't know it was going to turn to this. And anytime you don't know that something is going to turn into what it turns into and it just happens, is literally from divine intervention. Like, no, God orchestrated all of this. It's just carrying itself through, and I'm just being obedient. That's all.
That's powerful. That's good. And I think that is, you know, when you know that you are doing his work and, you know, it aligns with just who you are, the blessings just start flowing in, and it just speaks to just your character. And like I said earlier, how you're always just, you know, pouring into others, and, you know, how you always just have this spirit of just connecting. Like, it's the day I met you, it was just like, hey girl, like, we've been knowing each other forever. And it's just who you are. And I just love that about you. So as a, you know, we talk about the great, right? The good and the success. What are some challenges that you faced with just entrepreneurship or trading, and how did you overcome those challenges?
Well, yeah, I mean, when I first had my babies, for instance, like, if I don't feel okay, I'm gonna take a break. And I'll let my community know, and then I'll just have students. Like, that's the gift about my community also, is that I feel like I've taught my students so well that I have other students to fill in the gap when I'm not there. And it's just like going to me, because I have other successful students that literally make a sole income off of trading. So I will have them fill in if I can't. So when I was pregnant, I was like very sick, and, you know, number one rule to invest in, don't trade while you're emotional. So like when I was going through like postpartum, when I first had my baby and stuff, I had like my students fill in for me to teach the rest of the group. Outside of business though, challenges is, I mean, ultimately having 2 under 2 is hard in general, like, and very, you have to show up for yourself while also showing up for your children. That could be tough, especially when you have a partner that, like, you know, he travels a lot, he works a lot. Like, he's a very successful person also. So sometimes a lot of it comes on the mom. Like, I feel like the mom is the prominent, or not prominent, dominant person anyways, because the child even wants the mom more to a certain extent, like especially when they're babies, because I'm nursing, so he looks at me as his food supply, you know what I'm saying? So that could be challenging, being touched out and just like overwhelmed, but nonetheless it's still a beautiful blessing.
What are some things that you do to just make sure you're okay, to pour into you?
Girl, I work out. That is my sanity, but I also have to do it before the kids wake up. So I work out at 4:30 a.m. with my trainer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I get up around like 3:40 and go to the gym. Leave my house by 4 o'clock. Get to the gym by 4:30, work out 4:30 to 5:30, and then before my kids wake up, that's how I get my peace.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's the example of no excuses. So like, I think as moms, you know, we say, oh, we have the kids, or oh, we have to work, or oh, my husband travels. And, you know, it's like, no, we have to figure out ways to make it happen.
Yeah, like when he's in town, for sure. And he knows, like, at first he'll be like, yo, I'm trying to sleep. I'm like, well, I need you to look at, like, make sure the babies are okay, because I have to go work out. And I made that such a non-negotiable for me, because that was how I got my sanity. My first child, I had postpartum bad. My second child, I don't really think I had postpartum. I think I just had baby blues at the very, very beginning. Not in a bad, like, it's a lot of emotions in general when you give birth, right? You have like anxiety, all of these different things, like just all of those emotions. I don't feel like it was anything that was like really, really bad. I just feel like it was the natural emotions of literally your hormones going from one swing to the next. So I remember I had posted a video even on Instagram, and I got dragged. People were like, why are you working out so early? I started working out at 2 weeks postpartum.
Oh, wow.
Because I feel like being in the bed all day depresses you. Like, just being in the house all day depresses you. So I put my baby in a car seat. Not a car seat, but like, he has a Duna, so it's like a stroller car seat. Literally put him out in the sun and was working out outside. Yeah, I had to get my peace. Like, yeah, that is my peace. Movement is peace.
I love that women are talking about postpartum more now. Like, when I had my daughter, I am 100% sure that I had postpartum, but never diagnosed, right? Never treated. But I hid my emotions. I guess, like, out of embarrassment, right? I didn't want to, you know, you just had a baby. This is supposed to be the happiest time of your life. And I remember just being in the bed and crying and not realizing why I was crying or what was wrong. When I look back on it now, I know what it was, and this was 14 years ago. But I love that women are actually talking about it more. And now you're grabbing other women who might be going through the same thing. I have a young lady inside of my community who literally tells her story, and she's got over $1 million in grant funding just from reaching out to other women and connecting with them and helping them through their journey as well. So I love that you talk about it. I love that, you know, second baby, you was like, these are the things that I need to do to make sure I'm whole. And it just, again, goes back to what we talk about, just who you are, and, you know, being able to be in the space where you're pouring into others. That's amazing. So next question for you is, you know, you are, you just spoke at one of the biggest conferences in the world, right? Fourth year of making it happen. What have you done? What work have you done to be in the space where you're speaking at conferences and big stages and just building the Jessica Laine brand? So
I feel like it goes back to the work that I did before I was ever in a relationship and before I was ever a mom. I think that one of the hardest struggles for somebody to identify through self-work is, God, what is my purpose? That's the first thing. After I was trying to figure it out, like, girl, I did it all. When I first graduated college, I graduated from Spelman.
Okay.
I was training. I was training for the Olympics at the time. Then I was training people as a personal trainer. I was like literally just trying to figure it out. But I went to school to be a news reporter. And I worked at 11 Alive. It's a station in Atlanta. And girl, I hated it. 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 And people are like, oh my God, like you have your career, like you figured it out early. Like people want to figure it out early. What is wrong with you to just throw up your internships and work and all these things? Like, what is wrong with you to just throw it by the wayside? I'm like, that's not my purpose. Like so many times people do things for money. And it's not your purpose. And I knew I did not want to be. It was depressing. Like every story was. Yeah, I mean, turn on the news. You could see the stories. Like it's not really just a positive atmosphere. And it's like news stations, you're trying to get the best story. And then I have to change my voice to talk like this. Like it's just like, this is not me. Like this cannot be real life. Like what, God, what is my purpose? And I remember being so depressed. I was personal training. My dad was like, you didn't graduate from Spelman to be a personal trainer. I don't want my daughter to be a bum. Like, because I had very like, both of my parents were educated in the education system, and my sisters have 2 doctor sisters and a sister that was in real estate. What is my baby daughter? Like I'm the youngest too. So why are you going against the grain? Everybody else graduated, got all these degrees, careers. Why are you going against the grain? Like, what is your problem? You know? And so for me, it was like, no, like, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to get in this system of just working every day, doing something that I don't like. And at the news station, there was this 40-year-old lady named Denise, and I will never forget. She's really part of the reason why. She was 43 and she hated her job. And she was telling me that she hated her job. She's like, girl, I can't wait to leave this place. And it's like, the people that everybody else is looking up to saying that they don't like their work. So newsflash, like I'm one of those people like in the Bible where it says like wisdom, you don't have to learn everything yourself. Seek counsel and literally follow suit. I paraphrase that, but the scriptures in Proverbs. But ultimately, I'm like, if all of these people hate their careers, now obviously there are some people that actually do walk in that, and that is their purpose for whatever reason. But for me, it was like, no, this is a job. This isn't my purpose. So me understanding and identifying my purpose was the premise of me ultimately being able to carry all of the things through.
That's good. I have a similar story. So I remember pulling up at work one day and just crying because I didn't want to go inside. I had FMLA because I would get like super bad migraines. The moment I quit, those migraines stopped. Well, the moment I was terminated, those migraines stopped. But I remember just dreading going into work, hating it. And I had a manager, Lisa Clark, actually the person who hired me. She had been with Wells Fargo for well over 20 years and she hated it. She couldn't stand it. I mean, she would talk about how she loved the money or needed the money, of course, but, you know, she just hated the job. And she just would talk about it often. And she would tell me, you have to have an exit plan. Like, what's your plan? Like, how long do you plan on being here? I don't want to look back, you know, so many years later and you're still here. Now, I didn't take the wisdom, right? I didn't learn. I would stay with Wells Fargo 10, 15 years after that. But most of that was because my mom, I didn't want to disappoint my mom. And when I was fired, I called my mom and she cried. She was like, what are you going to do? You got to immediately start looking for another bank. I'm like, no, I'm going to coach full time. And she was like, no, that's not a job. You can't do that. Like, that's not guaranteed income. And so now with my daughter, I always try to be very cautious of what I say. And how I say it, because I know what it's like to, and my mom's probably gonna watch this like, girl, but it's reality, right? And I think parents often, we try to force our expectations on our kids and instead of letting them follow their own path. So with you being a mom, right, 2 under 2, what are some, and I know they're still young, but you know, do you encourage entrepreneurship when they get older? Do you let them follow their own journey and you just support them on their journey? Or what are some things that you and your husband think that you might?
Yeah, it's crazy because Michael had we had a conversation not too long ago about if we were going to force the children to go to college or not. And Michael, he's like, no, I'm not forcing my kids to go to college. And I said, I'm not forcing them to go to college if they already have a plan. If they don't have a plan, you're definitely going to college because then you can discover, like, I feel like something may not be your thing, but there's always something, like if you're going through something, there's always something to lead you to the next thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like connecting dots. And what my child is not going to do is just go to high school and then just staying in the house and every single day working at a mom and pop shop.
Right.
Like, that's not happening. Like, if they already have their purpose and they're already working on something and they're carrying that through, okay, cool. I'm not going to force college on them. But if they don't know what they want to do, because I feel like at that age, you're so impressionable, you really don't know what you want to do right out of high school. Some people do, but most people don't. Even out of college, some people don't know what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, no, I believe that things are stepping stones. If I would not have gone to Spelman, I wouldn't have known about trading, because the girl I found out about trading through was this 23-year-old girl. She was my Neo. I pledged Delta. She was my Neo. And she bought a house at 23. And I was like, girl, how? And she bought it from trading.
Wow.
And that's how I got introduced to like understanding that there was a world outside of like the world that I grew up in, of going to college and having a career and getting a job. But that's what I mean by the thing leads you to the next thing. If I did not go to Spelman, who knows? Like, I probably would have never gotten introduced to that. You know what I'm saying?
We had him on the show on Access Granted, Michael, your husband, and I asked the question, like, for your kids, like, do you invest $100,000 in college or mentorship? He was like, what are we talking about? Like, mentorship, because we know the power of mentorship. But me personally, with my daughter, you know, I think college prepared me for life.
Yeah.
I think, you know, coming straight out of high school, trying to go into entrepreneurship. And then I think my journey in Wells Fargo prepared me for entrepreneurship. It taught me how to just work with different people. It taught me about, you know, collaborating with different personalities. It gave me the structure.
Yeah.
And you know, when I was terminated, I actually told myself, if I can show up for a company and help a company make millions and dedicate 40 plus hours a week
can I do
to
for
a
myself?
company, what can I do for myself? So I personally feel like that everybody should go, not, you know, have a job, right? Because there's some very lazy entrepreneurs out there.
Yeah.
And there's some people who are not getting the success they want in their business, and it goes back to the structure and doing the work in self. I've seen a video that's viral right now on social media, Tabitha Brown, when she talks about, you know, some of y'all just got to give up and go back to work and go back to the 9 to 5. Did you see the video?
No.
So she has a viral video out right now. And she's basically addressing the people who have, you know, you've started this business, you've been in business for a very long time, and you're not getting results. And your pride and your ego, it won't let you go back to working a 9 to 5 or going back into the working field.
Yeah.
And it's okay to have a job. It's okay to have a job and still try to balance your business. And I think that entrepreneurs, I think sometimes we see the success of others and we just try to go grab that. I'm glad that I worked my job until I was terminated and actually had, you know, a successful business or thriving business. And I think people just see the success and they just want to go all in, or they juggle so many different things that they don't have that one thing that allows them the success that they want.
Yeah, I think that's the important part of the foundation. The foundation.
Excellent.
Even the Bible says that a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. You can't, if you don't know what your foundation is or even your vision for something, you can't build anything.
That's good.
You know?
Yeah, that's powerful. This has been so good. I just love talking to you. You are always just so full of knowledge, and just being able to share the insight of what you do and who you are. What's next for Jessica?
Actually, I think I'm gonna start a podcast.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes, that's exciting.
Yeah, so you gotta come on.
Of course.
And start mine.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, but I think I'm gonna start a spiritual podcast.
That's good.
Because God just blessed me so much in so many different things. And I think that where you just even said that there are a lot of entrepreneurs and they look up, or people that look up to entrepreneurship and want entrepreneurship and all these different things, not realizing that, like, no, like, it really just be God. Like, God, for real, is the source of everything. And maybe I'm super sensitive right now because I'm in the middle of a fast right now, so I haven't been like eating nothing. Okay, I'm literally just on just me and my Bible. Okay, but I think I'm gonna start a podcast in regards to like kingdom work. I don't even know what the name's going to be yet, but I just feel like even when it comes to my community and stuff, I feel like I'm just a distribution channel for God's work here on earth. I don't really think it's me that's doing none of this. I feel like he's orchestrating everything and aligning everything. So how could I not give him the glory?
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely needed. I'm locked in, ready to subscribe,
Yeah.
but of course, ready to be on the podcast. Of course, you just shoot me the day and I'm there.
Yeah.
So before we go out, you know, if I'm watching this and I want to get into trading, what would be my 3 steps to get started?
Well, you could definitely hop on Sunday night calls. They are every Sunday night on YouTube. Like, literally just go to my YouTube, it's Jessica Laine, or you can go to my Instagram, it's Jessica Laine, and go to the bio, and then it's just free Sunday night calls. But I also do have a community and a course on jessinvest.com. JESS, not just Jess.
Jess, JESS.
Yes.
Okay. And how much money do I have to get started?
You don't have to have a lot. You have to have the knowledge, though. Because the thing is, you can have $10,000. If you don't know what you're doing, you're going to lose it. You can have $500. If you don't know what you're doing, you're going to lose it. You can have $100,000. If you don't know what you're doing, you're going to lose it. Knowledge is the most important thing.
That's dope.
Because once you have the knowledge, now you can grow anything. And we're talking about trading. Obviously, if you're just investing, just go put your money and just let it sit in a stock. That's completely different. But actual trading, like, you make way more money trading, but it takes knowledge to do so. Because that same, like, I literally have a student that started her account with $250 and she's a millionaire now. Now, this has been over the course of time. Like, she's been trading 4 years at this point, but her initial investment in her account was $250. She flipped that to $2,000. That $2,000, she flipped it to $20,000. And over time, she's grown her account from there. But she had the knowledge. You can have $100,000 and put money in your account and you're trading, but you're really gambling because you don't have the knowledge. So
that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I think people just want to dive in and they forget the education piece of anything we do.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of people fear like grants or trading, because they don't have the knowledge of what to do and how to be successful.
Yeah, for
this
sure.
has been good.
Yeah,
this has been so good. So before we log off, before we dive out, tell the audience how they can find you, how they can connect with you.
Okay, yeah. Go to Jess Invest, www.jessinvest.com, JESSinvest.com, or it's Jessica Laine on Instagram. I do not have a TikTok, so if you look up a TikTok, it's not me. And I have a whole bunch of spam pages, so that's not me either. It has a blue check and that's it. Okay. Don't follow none of the other pages. Girl,
I know it. It's insane.
Wow, these scammers out here is crazy.
And they're aggressive.
Yes, they are so aggressive. This one lady lost $50,000 stock. She thought she was giving it to me to trade and gave it to a scammer through crypto. I'm like, why would you ever do that?
Yeah.
Like, why would you even send $50,000 without talking to somebody or doing a video to even verify the person or whatever it case may be? Like, people are crazy out here, so protect yourselves, guys. Protect yourself.
You guys, this has been another amazing episode of Access Granted. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share this with 3 people that you love that could benefit from this information. Thank you for tuning in to Access Granted. I'll see you next time.